Hey guys, it is time for another Vespa break-in video. Saturday evening and the sun is getting low in the sky, and I thought I'd come out to some twisty mountain roads to do a little break-in ride. I've got about 224 miles on the clock. That's out of 600 for the break-in. And the break-in guidelines are the kind of the typical 600 miles, vary your engine speed, don't ride at a constant speed for extended periods of time, keep the engine load under about 80%. So what better way to follow those instructions than to come out on a ride like this? I am on a road called Rist Canyon Road or Rist Canyon Drive. We are headed back east towards Fort Collins. I've got the sun to my back. And we are on the downhill twisty part of the ride. You guys probably can't see the hill here, but it's a pretty decent hill. I can take my hand off the gas and maintain a little speed, but it'll start to flatten out a little bit up here and get a little twisty, so it should be a fun ride. There's a good amount of sand on this road. There was some right back there. I don't know if you could see it, so I need to be careful in the corners and stick to the wheel tracks as much as I can. But so far I've been enjoying this thing. It's a lot of fun. I've ridden it around town a little bit, done some grocery runs, and I've done a couple of rides like this, and so far it's handled everything very well. Somehow it feels more casual, a little less technical to ride than a motorcycle, which I guess makes sense. It's a scooter, there's no shifting. The body position is sort of a more casual body position, but it's a lot of fun. Obviously it's light and it carries its weight low on the chassis, so corners like this are actually pretty easy to handle. Some of these are a little bit tricky. They're not all continuous radius turns, and like this, you're coming into it, you can't see the end of the corner. It's a little bit of a blind corner. Got sand and gravel on the road. But it handles them well. All of the basic concepts are the same as a motorcycle, obviously, but just the body position and some of the dynamics are a little bit different. It's really easy to get going fast on these with the downhill. Obviously, I want to do my braking before I enter the corner. I am covering both brakes with 2 fingers, which is my habit. But it is fun to ride. Boy, I'm barely on the throttle and I'm still doing 45 coming down the hill. More gravel and sand. Hello, dear. Watch out, guys. It's that time of day. Gotta keep an eagle eye out. when I was coming up, there was some sort of little ground squirrel, or I don't know what it was. It was little tiny, but it had a long tail. It was about the size of a mouse, but it looked like a squirrel, and it was crossing the road up here. I don't think I've ever seen whatever it was. It was a funny little critter, but the animals are definitely out. Vespa GTS 300 HPE. I'm very happy with my purchase so far. Gonna take this one nice and easy. Again, on this one, kind of sandy. My nose itches. Why is it always when you can't reach up that your nose itches? Yeah, this thing is pretty confidence-inspiring in the corners. This is the kind of road where you really don't need that much power. I mean, I'm not a fast, twisty rider to begin with, but comparing this to my big motorcycle, my big 1200, I could probably come through faster on this thing than I could on it. Getting close to the end of the hill and the twisties here, and then we'll come out into a little flatter area with a different kind of view. It's still a very pretty view. Another sandy one right here, a little harder to see in the shade. Wasn't quite as gravelly, there was just kind of a dusting of sand across the road there. Now we're kind of coming out where it opens up. More sand and gravel. Pretty, pretty. Open it up a little bit. Back off. So yeah, I don't know what to say. So far so good. This has been a very enjoyable little scooter. It's got plenty of zip, as you can see. Handles well. I haven't found too many things that I don't like about it. Let's see, what would the negatives be? The negatives that I've found so far. One, I guess, is the thing that everybody talks about, which is the gas tank. 2¼ gallons, but when you're filling it up, it's very easy to have it overflow. So the trick is, when you take the gas cap off, lift the little bucket, the little cargo bucket up, and tuck the gas cap underneath it so that there's a gap between the bucket and the body. That way if the gas overflows, which it inevitably will, it's not flowing into your little cargo bucket. So that's one thing. I've only filled it up twice, and so I'm not very good at judging the amount of gas that I need in there yet. So I have a feeling that as I do it more, I'll get a better sense for, you know, what you know, how much I need, and I'll probably be less likely to have it overflow. But it's not like a car where you've got a long fill tube going into a tank, and when the gas level gets high enough, it cuts off the nozzle. By the time the nozzle cuts off, it's already squirting out of this. What else? What other things do I not like? In terms of the positioning, I find that there are times when I want to scoot my feet back on the floorboard a little further than it allows me. They kind of bump into the passenger pegs here, so sometimes I'll scoot them back and kind of hang my heels off just a little bit, just as a comfort thing. Not a big deal at all. Yeah, I guess that's kind of it. Oh, there's one other thing actually. The dash sits low and I'm tall, and so as I'm riding along, I don't see any of this. You guys see it in the camera because it's a really wide angle. I don't really see this in my peripheral vision. The bottom chin bar of my helmet cuts it off unless I tilt my head down. So when I hit the turn signal and the light's blinking, I don't see it. I don't even see it in my peripheral vision. On my motorcycle, I do. So I noticed in the last video, like I was riding and the turn signal was going at one point. It's because I don't see it, and I think I thought that I'd clicked it off, and I hadn't. So yeah, those are just huge complaints, aren't they? Big deal breakers. No, it's been a good bike. I really don't have any real complaints at this point. 38. And this is saying, that's interesting, that was a little closer than it usually is. I've noticed with those signs that they typically show five or so miles an hour lower than the indicated speed on here. So if I'm going 45, those things would usually say 40. Oh, that's the other problem with the scooter. The bikers don't wave at me anymore. When I'm on my other motorcycle, you know, all the bikers wave at each other. No way. Bikers don't wave at scooter boys. Actually, they do sometimes. I've had a few wave at me or return my wave, but I'd say, you know, most of the time now they don't, which is kind of funny. I guess I'm gonna have to turn in my man card. People are gonna start asking my pronouns. So anyway, I think that was the pretty part. I'll wrap it up here. Hope you guys are having fun on your scooters. Talk to you later.